There is no way to sugarcoat this. Wrestling isn't ballet. That's something you'll hear a lot in this business, and for good reason. It's physical, it's intense, and despite being scripted, it's dangerous. Accidents happen, injuries happen. Even the best in-ring performers in the world occasionally mess up. But when those mistakes add up, and when they consistently involve the same name, it's hard not to garner an unpopular reputation. That's the case with Nia Jax. For years, Nia Jax has been one of the most polarizing figures in WWE. On one hand, she's a powerhouse with undeniable credibility. On the other side, she's been called unsafe, careless, and even incompetent by fans and even some wrestlers. But today I want to take a step back and ask a simple but important question. Has Nia Jax actually improved? I would start by looking at her first match on the main roster, but it's a 2-minute squash without much for me to analyze. Wait, is that Britt Baker? Okay, that's interesting to see a name like Britt Baker getting squashed on Raw to then go on to be one of the top women in AEW. Let's rewind back to 2018. Nia Jax was already being presented as a dominant force in the women's division. She had size, strength, and the Samoan Anoa'i blood flowing through her veins. But what she didn't have, at least according to her critics, was precision or caution or awareness. The most infamous moment came on an episode of Raw in late 2018. Nia, in the middle of a chaotic brawl, threw a wild punch that broke Becky Lynch's nose and gave her a concussion. Blood streamed down Becky's face, and while the image became iconic and elevated Becky's career, giving us Becky 2 belts, the backlash against Nia was knocking at the door with a vengeance. And Becky wasn't an isolated incident. Bayley, Kairi Sane, Selena Vega, Mandy Rose, Lana, even Charlotte Flair, all of them reportedly have been on the receiving end of moves that were poorly executed, or worse, dangerous. And while every wrestler has moments they wish they could have pulled off more smoothly, the frequency with which Nia's name kept coming up painted a troubling picture. The internet did what the internet does best, and Nia Jax became synonymous with botch. She became a punching bag for the live crowds it featured in Botchamania memes. But behind the meme was a real concern. Were her opponents even safe? Here's the thing about Nia Jax. There's a reason she's given so many chances. She looks like a star. She feels like a threat. There are few women on the roster who bring the same level of physical dominance to a match as she does. You believe her when she throws someone across the ring. You believe it when commentary calls her unstoppable. But even if she has a solid match paired with the right opponent, someone like Bayley or Naomi, the risk is always there, lurking under every powerbomb or Samoan drop. Has that changed? Fast forward to today and the situation does look better. The first noticeable change is physical. Nia has dropped weight and it shows. It allows her to move quicker, to be more agile, to take more convincing bumps. And it seems like she's taking her conditioning more seriously. That makes a big difference. Not just for how she moves, but for her opponents too. Less pressure is on them when a spot calls for them to lift Nia or when they have to take a splash, for example. There's also the fact that the reports of injuries have slowed down. The stories of her hurting talent left and right just aren't popping up the way they used to. That could be attributed to WWE's booking, but I think she's generally putting in the work to be a safer and cleaner worker. From what I've seen, many of her moves do look smoother. Her timing seems more on point. Her power moves feel tighter and less chaotic. These are good signs. Her promo skills haven't gotten better, but they were never bad to begin with. She always had a strong voice, a solid cadence and presence on the mic. So no complaints here. All that said, there is still room to grow. Because while the injuries might be behind her, the immersion breaking moments are not. At Bad Blood 2024, a poorly executed Hurricane Rana attempt brought the match's momentum to a grinding halt,
Nia up top!
of which it couldn't recover. It wasn't dangerous, but it wasn't convincing either. Then came Survivor Series and some incredibly weird chair shots that looked like something out of a stage play. Again, nobody got hurt.
But the illusion got shattered.
And in wrestling, illusion, next to timing, is everything. In those moments, the audience was pulled out of the action. That might not be as harmful as breaking someone's nose, but the best wrestlers keep their co-workers safe and keep immersion intact at the same time. So let's return to the original question. Has Nia Jax improved? Yes, she has. She's safer, she's more controlled, she's visibly committed to bettering herself, and that deserves recognition. But she's not quite there yet. There is still a gap between her physical power and the fluidity we expect from top level talent. There are still moments that pull us out of the match, and if she wants to reach the next level, not just as a force, but as a trusted force in the ring, those are next things she'll need to work on. Well, at least I take immersion breaking over burn breaking any day. So what do you think? Do you see the same as I do? Let me know in the comments. You've been watching WW.
The best things in wrestling.